Namaskar, I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Welcome to Newsnight. While protest against Citizenship Amendment Act dominated past few weeks, support for CAA is gaining momentum now in India and abroad. Union ministers are participating in mega outreach program. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took to Twitter to garner support for CAA. In other news, India's forest report was released today. It carries a positive update. India's green cover is on the rise. It's increasing. Also, how North India is coping with extreme cold. All that and much more. Let's begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches social media campaign hashtag India supports CAA to bust myths and fake news regarding CAA. Says a law gives rights to the persecuted, doesn't take away rights from anyone. Hashtag India supports CAA among the top trends on Twitter. BJP leaders and union ministers fan out across the country, holding rallies and press conferences. Support for CAA gains ground across the world as well, with rallies in New York and California. Forest and Environment Minister Prasar Bharati releases India's State of Forest report. India's forest and tree cover up by 5,188 square kilometers. Increase of 42.6 million tons in the country's carbon stock. Minister expresses confidence that India is on track to achieve climate goals under the Paris Agreement. Niti Aayog releases 2019-20 SDG Index. Kerala retains top spot, followed by Himachal Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Ujjwala Yojana and several other flagship programs fuel the improved performance across the country. Maharashtra cabinet expanded today. 26 cabinet ministers, 10 ministers of state take oath. Ajit Pawar made Deputy Chief Minister. Uddhav's son Aditya Thackeray also sworn in. Cold wave continues in North India. Delhi records the coldest day with regards to maximum day temperature in 119 years. Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh shiver under cold wave. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reiterated that India supports CAA because it is about giving citizenship to persecuted refugees and not about taking anyone's citizenship away. He also appealed to people to see Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev's video, where he lucidly explains the context and the significance of CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act. Besides Prime Minister, other leaders from the government and the party are organizing mega outreach program to garner support for the legislation. People of Indian origin in New York, California also came out in support of CAA.
Support for Citizenship Amendment Act is gaining strength in India and abroad. Number of individuals and organizations have come forward with support. Founder of Isha Foundation, Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev, has also suggested that CAA is the right step forward.
This is a dangerous game people are playing. I think there is a certain desperation among certain people who misinformed illiterate masses of religious groups who went wild thinking that the local Indian Muslims will lose their citizenship. That's what they conveyed. Well, such mischief should not have worked on the scale that it worked. It should not have. It's unfortunate.
Spiritual Guru Jaggi Vasudev has appealed to the people protesting against CAA to shun the path of violence.
It's really terrible that public property is burned and destroyed. Ordinary people's scooters and cars and shops being absolutely vandalized like this, for what? I think in a very calibrated way, somebody sent the message to the minorities that your citizenship is under threat, which is an absolute lie. Unfortunately, it did fly. This lie did fly for the last 1 week, now it's landed, now people know it's not so.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi initiated a movement in support of CAA and posted a video of Sadhguru Vasudev. PM tweeted, and I quote, "Do hear this lucid explanation of aspects related to CAA and more by Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev. He provides historical context, brilliantly highlights our culture of brotherhood. He also calls out the misinformation by vested interest groups. On the Twitter handle of PM's personal website, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a call to citizens to join the hashtag India Supports CAA movement. The tweet read, CAA is about giving citizenship to persecuted refugees and not about taking anyone's citizenship away. In the tweet, he urged countrymen to check out the hashtag India Supports CAA in your voice section of volunteer module on Namo app for content, graphics, video and more. Share and show your support for CAA. INB Minister Prakash Javadekar also simplified CAA for people and appealed to them to spread facts, not myth. Sharing nuggets of information on Twitter, Javadekar said, and I quote, in the last 6 years, 2,830 Pakistani, 912 Afghani and 172 Bangladeshi citizens have been given Indian citizenship. Many of them are from majority community of these countries. CAA enables foreigners from 6 minority communities from 3 countries to apply for citizenship on the basis of religious persecution. It does not amend any existing legal provision which enables a new foreigner to apply for citizenship through registration, naturalization. Union ministers and BJP leaders have fanned out across the country to spread awareness on CAA. Union Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal was in Kochi. Party Vice President Shivraj Singh Chauhan held press conference in Nasik. Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat was in Karimnagar, reaching out to the masses.
It is an act which is needed in undivided country. Those who have remained in Pakistan and Bangladesh, they could not live the life as per their dignity, as per their religion. They are called the religious minority. They have been persecuted. They have come in India. So we provided the citizenship to them. They are the family member of the undivided country of India.
CAA के बारे में अगर जानना है तो सबसे पहले 1947 में महात्मा गांधी जी ने कहा था भारत और पाकिस्तान और बांग्लादेश में रहने वाले, बांग्लादेश नहीं था तब केवल पाकिस्तान था, हिंदू और सिख अगर वो चाहें तो हर नजरिए से भारत आ सकते हैं और उनको उनकी जान और सम्मान की रक्षा करना और उनको रोजगार और नौकरी देना भारत सरकार का पहला कर्तव्य है.
If they respect this culture, they should have respected the main element of this culture, namely sheltering, honoring the refugees who come into India. When we brought a law to honor, respect and provide succor to the refugees who come into India, they are the ones who are opposing it. And today they are giving us lectures about Indian culture. Indian culture is about respecting, sheltering and supporting all the victims of such persecutions.
Rallies supporting CAA are taking place across the country. A massive rally was organized in Samastipur. A number of groups beside the BJP participated in the rally. ABVP took out a rally in Bageshwar in Uttarakhand. BJP also organized a rally in Mumbai and in Cooch Behar in West Bengal. People are also supporting CAA abroad. People of Indian origin in New York as well as California organized a program in support of CAA. People gathered at Times Square and chanted slogans in support of the Modi government. All in all, voices in support of CAA are gaining strength with each passing day. Newsnight Desk, DD India.
That brings us to the issue in focus this evening, how support for CAA is gaining momentum. Support for CAA gains momentum is the issue that we'll be focusing on. And joining me, that's the issue in focus. And joining me in the studio is senior journalist Shekhar Iyer. Welcome. Good evening, Shekhar. Thanks for joining us. Now, Prime Minister tweets and says that watch Sadhguru's video where he explains what CAA is and how people should not be afraid of it, in fact should embrace it for the reasons that he gives. And Sadhguru, when you see the video, he gives a clear historical perspective of the partition. How do you see his argument, the way he puts it across?
Yeah, indeed, it was a very lucid and very typical of Sadhguru's style.
Very typical of his style, yeah.
To put things in proper perspective, explaining the background to this whole issue. and he traced the historical links, the point that the Prime Minister found it very, very interesting and very emphatic, which is the fact that India and Pakistan were created on the basis of partition, and the minorities were supposed to be taken care, but that did not happen in these states which declared themselves Islamic, and minorities began to suffer in these countries. So, and many of them left their homes to protect their daughters and their wives and their women folk, and came and had to come here as refugees. And their status has remained in a sort of a limbo, because they were issued long-term visa papers, and they have been staying in camps. And this particular act was about to settle them, in the sense to remove that uncertainty in their lives. And there are lots of them. We have them in Delhi, they are there in Rajasthan and in other parts. So Sadhguru explained, in fact he said he is surprised that lot of people who consider themselves as intellectuals, who are students, they haven't read the act, they haven't read the law, and somehow they have joined this campaign, which is being fueled by some radicals. I would not hesitate to say people who believe that religious fundamentalism one kind is supposed to be more liberal, and then any other kind. And we have seen this campaign, and it's very concerted, it's very systematic, it is orchestrated, and even the violence is deliberate, and unfortunately many innocent people have been caught in this violence without knowing why they are agitating, for what they are agitating, and we have seen acts of arson.
Right. And while support is rising for Citizenship Amendment Act, Shekhar, if you look at the questions and arguments that are put against CAA, why minorities from particularly these countries? So, again, going back to Sadhguru's explanation, is the degree and the nature of persecution that these minorities have suffered in these three countries in particular becomes the reason for CAA then?
Absolutely. You see, this particular category
is a special case for them.
See, under the Article 14, if you have to segregate a group and give it a category, there must be a common factor. So whether they were Hindus from Pakistan or Christians or Buddhists or anyone else, they all happen to be people who have faced that persecution, because we have seen Islamists in these countries which have already declared themselves Islamic being totally intolerant and making things difficult. And we have heard people where, as Sadhguru mentioned, some of them cannot even get married, because these countries don't even recognize the marriage of Hindus. So
although that law has been, I think, worked on in 17.
So these are real hard human stories, because this is about, it is not about politics. This is about the human condition of these people. And what was humanitarian has been sought to be given a sectarian kind of twist and color. And we have seen a lot of people. I mean, the unfortunate part is, at least their leaders should have guided them. What is this law about? And where does it say that it is going to deny somebody else? I think this is a whole built up of this campaign has been on false grounds. And then adding to that, they are saying NPR, NRC, despite so many clarifications on the floor of Parliament. Now I see when people like Sadhguru come out and feel, because they are surprised by this kind of violence, this kind of outrage over what is not intended to be that. See, there can be, we can understand if somebody has misunderstanding, misgivings, but here folks are being totally misguided, and calls are being given from places of worship to assemble, and this is very unfortunate, because it's innocents who are being misguided, it's innocents who are being incited, and finally obviously the authorities will have to maintain law and order.
Right. And Shekhar, similar to the protest against CAA, the support is gaining, and that is the issue also that we're discussing, is gaining momentum, and across all platforms, whether it is on the road, whether it is online, and even abroad. So a few weeks ago, perhaps one particular narrative would have been more loud and audible on CAA, voices against it. Now that there are also voices, and reasonable voices, and figures like Sadhguru standing up in favor of CAA, how do you see now really its balance on both sides, really the people and the groups supporting CAA also adequately taking it across to people?
Shubhendu, a lot of people, a lot of people who are not connected with politics. Sadhguru is not connected with politics. Now, a lot of people are shocked that this kind of violence is being whipped up, and which is affecting the communal amity, because if you have a section of the community indulging in violence, it does disturb balance, because in those areas where other communities live, it does create a scare, because after all, rioting is also a form of, I would say, it terrorizes people.
Certainly.
Now what has happened is these people feel that why is this particular act being singled out, and a falsehood being spread to mobilize mobs. So therefore, these people are coming out and saying, look, this is about a section of the community which has come here and has remained neglected. Unfortunately, when a lot has been done for people from here, and these people, whether they are Christians or Buddhists or Jains or Hindus, who have come here and their status has remained. We have had doctors coming from there. I just read a story, I think from Rajasthan, where a doctor couple cannot practice here because they do not have the proper citizenship yet. They haven't acquired, they have not been granted yet. So they are performing the role of a medical assistance as a source of livelihood. There are numerous instances where educated people have left and come. And each of these individual story will tell you it was because they were persecuted only on the basis of religion. Now, this is a very particular act intent, and this is not about opening. See, the other misnomer in this or misunderstanding is they think that borders are going to be opened up, people are going to come in hordes, settle down. It's not that. It is about people who are already here, whose status has remained uncertain all these years, all these decades.
Right, and Sadhguru also, when he talks about CAA, Shekhar, he also speaks about the need to communicate. In fact, this question was asked by this young girl in Lucknow, and Sadhguru responded. He spoke about the need to communicate better. Perhaps the communication could have been better from day one. But do you think adequate efforts are being made now? We have ministers, leaders fanning across the country. We have in New York and other places outside of India also, people talking about the facts. And INB minister also tweets and talks about, look at the facts, don't be guided by myths. So do you think that communication part is now at least taken care of better?
Yeah, because somewhere along, because if there is a trust deficit, I mean, in terms of understanding what it is.
Yeah.
You see, people are not remembering the fact that this issue was debated in Parliament, in both the houses. All the arguments against it, for it was heard. The Home Minister replied to it, and we saw Prime Minister himself talking about this issue from the Ram Leela Maidan.
Right.
Because this was essentially intended to create, and the BJP has itself announced there is going to be an outreach program. They are reaching out to those Muslim leaders and Muslim people, men, women, who are very upset and who are confused about this.
Right.
So, yes, perhaps the communication could have been, I mean, I would agree with Sadhguru that a lot of misgivings can be removed through proper communication.
Right,
and that exercise is on now.
Right. So
both at the political level, at the government level, and initiatives that are being taken by these peace marches that we are seeing on the screen right now.
Absolutely, and people I think should go see that video and see the clarity with which he explains the context. Whether you agree or not is a different thing, but one should go and see that video that Prime Minister has also tweeted about. Shekhar, thanks very much for joining us in the studio and giving us those insights.
Thank you.
Moving on, Union Minister for Forest and Environment Prasar Bharati on Monday released the India State of the Forest Report 2019 and said that India is on track, in fact, to achieve the target of 2.5 billion tons of carbon equivalent. We're talking about climate change and Indian initiatives. The report is an assessment of country's forest resources. Has the cover increased and in what manner? Take a look at this special report.
Trees and forests are a lifeline for humans as well as the survival of life on Earth. With the threats posed by global warming, it became even more important to meet Paris Agreement goals. Forest Survey of India came out with their 2019 report and the numbers are encouraging. The total tree and forest cover in the country increased by 5,188 square kilometers in the last 2 years. The report released by Union Minister for Forest and Environment, Prasar Bharati, saw an increase of 42.6 million tons in the carbon stock of the country as compared to the last assessment of 2017.
दुनिया में केवल थोड़े देशों में जंगल बढ़ा है, इसमें भारत का नंबर बहुत ऊंचा है और इसलिए भारत ने वनों के क्षेत्र में बढ़ाई की है और अब लगभग 25% हमारा क्षेत्र वनों से आच्छादित है। इस बार 5,000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर, 5,200 लगभग स्क्वायर किलोमीटर्स ये एरिया बढ़ा है। भारत ने जो लक्ष्य पेरिस में लिया है दुनिया को अचंबा हुआ कि 2.5 बिलियन टन्स ऑफ कार्बन इक्विवेलेंट कैसे तैयार होगा, एंड वी विल अचीव अवर टारगेट.
According to the report, there is an increase of 3,229 km in bamboo bearing area as compared to the 2017 estimate. The total forest cover area is 21.67% of the geographical area of the country, while the tree cover area is 2.89%. The mangrove cover in the country has increased by 54 square kilometer, which is 1.10% as compared to previous assessment.
बाम्बू फ्री करने के बाद बाम्बू ज़्यादा बढ़ा है और बड़े क्वालिटी में बढ़ा है. 2,77,587 tons.
The report provides a comprehensive account of the forest cover scenario of the country to different user groups. They are of great importance for policy planners, managers, researchers and academicians. Forests have acquired increasing importance not only for their role in meeting the material requirements but also for their ecological and environmental functions. With Bureau Input, Anuj Yadav's report, DD India.
And taking cue from this forest reports, let's understand through the means of data how the forest cover and the green cover in the country is improving. Let's first look at the total forest and tree cover. It stands at 80.73 million hectare. That's how it stands today as of now. And it covers about 24.56% of country's geographical area. Now that's around 21% is forest cover, about 3% is tree cover. Increase of 5,188 square kilometer forest and tree cover since 2017. It's a biennial report. It comes out once in 2 years. So since 2017, the increase is such. Forest cover in particular has increased by 3,976 square kilometers. Tree cover, which is less than 1 hectare of trees, is called tree cover. Tree cover has increased by 1,212 square kilometer. That's the way in which the green cover is increasing. The highest increase in open forest. Open forest is about 40% density of trees is the highest, followed by very dense and moderately dense forests. So the highest increase that we're talking about is in the open forest category. And if we talk about the particular states who are doing really well as far as increasing green cover is concerned, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala occupy the top spot where the states are doing better and have increased the green cover. Mangrove, we know, has a very important ecosystem related and environment related significance. The mangrove cover has also increased. It now stands at 4,975 square kilometer, an increase of about 54 square kilometer. That's an important aspect as well in improving the environment around it. Bamboo bearing area has also increased 16 million hectares. It stands as of now. The increase that has happened in the 2 years 2017 to 19 is about the figure that we showed. Carbon stock in country's forest is, and carbon stock is the carbon that is stored, that is removed from the atmosphere by the forest, so it helps the environment, is at 7,124 million ton. It's an increase of about 42.6 million tons. So removal of carbon is a significant part of India's commitment to climate change also. And this report gives other information as well. The fire-prone forest we saw in summers, how forests of Uttarakhand and elsewhere were destroyed to a great extent by forest fire. So that study is also being done. And non-timber forests produce NTFPs, significant for tribal population in particular. So a new database has also been created by the virtue of this report, where these species are being listed and talked about. So the tribals are said to benefit from these discoveries that have been made in particular. What are the other speciality of this report? If we go across to the next slide and the final one. Ortho-rectified satellite data for greater accuracy. It's basically more accurate images, especially in terms of the areas covered and the study that is required to understand the exact forest covers. That data is more accurately represented, and therefore the reforms and policies that are made are going to be of particular significance. We're heading for a short break in Newsnight. Lots more coming up. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Newsnight. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. The Niti Aayog today, in the presence of Vice Chairman Rajiv Kumar and CEO Amitabh Kant, released the Sustainable Development Goals Index 2019. The SDG India Index. Its dashboard displays overall and detailed information on the progress made by states and union territories on the global goals of the United Nations, including their incremental progress from 2018 using interactive visualizations. Kerala is the first rank for 2019, followed by Himachal, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh.
India, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is moving fast on the goals of sustainable development announced by the United Nations. The Niti Aayog on Monday released the index for 2019-20 on sustainable development goals. The SDG index shows that Kerala is on the first rank for 2019, followed by Himachal Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. The report attributes the improvement in India's performance to several welfare programs, including Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and Ujjwal Yojana.
जो पिछले 5 सालों में जो सारी स्कीम चली थी जिनका कि लक्ष्य था अंत्योदय, जिनका कि लक्ष्य था कि सबसे जो पीछे हैं उनको ऊपर उठाना, जिसमें कि कई एक हैं जैसे उज्ज्वल है, जनधन है, सौभाग्य है और स्वच्छ भारत है। इन सब का जो लक्ष्य था वो ये था कि जो आखिर हैं, जो नीचे हैं, उनको ऊपर उठाना। उसका असर हुआ है, क्योंकि अगर उसी की वजह से ये हुआ है कि कोई भी राज्य आज 50 के स्कोर के नीचे नहीं हुआ है, क्योंकि पूरा देश एक तरह से ऊपर उभर रहा है।
According to the index, most of the states still need to work more on subjects like gender equality and nutrition. Bihar and Jharkhand need to put more efforts to improve on the major parameters of the SDG so that they also match the standards of other states.
पोषण का सबसे बड़ा कंसर्न है। ये जो है वो इतना बड़ा, क्योंकि इसमें अभी भी 38% बच्चे ही हमारे जो हैं वो अभी भी कुपोषित माने जाते हैं और 50% महिलाएं हमारी एनीमिक हैं। तो सबसे बड़ी चीज़ ये है, क्योंकि यही अगर इसको नहीं इम्प्रूव किया तो उसके अलावा स्वास्थ्य और शिक्षा और कुछ भी ज़्यादा इम्प्रूव नहीं। सबसे बड़ी तो चीज़ ये है। दूसरी एक जो इससे निकली है वो है जेंडर इक्वालिटी की बात।
In Uttar Pradesh and Assam, a lot of good work has been done in the last year on various parameters like health, education, poverty, hunger, due to which the ranking of these states has improved further. When it comes to Uttar Pradesh, it is among the leading states to improve its performance, which has gained 13 points more than the last year. Sudhakar Das, DD India, Delhi.
Some other news now. Amid the eternal debate over dynastic politics in India, the newly expanded Maharashtra Council of Ministers that saw 36 leaders taking oath has several belonging to political families. Aditya Thackeray, Ashok Chavan, Aditi Tatkare and Amit Deshmukh are amongst the many with dynastic lineage. Vocal Shiv Sena leader Sanjay Raut was conspicuous by his absence at the swearing-in. More details in this report.
Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray expanded his Council of Ministers by inducting 26 cabinet and 10 ministers of state. NCP leader Ajit Pawar, who was sworn in as Deputy Chief Minister, former Maharashtra Chief Minister and senior Congress leader Ashok Chavan and Yuva Sena Chief Aditya Thackeray were among the cabinet ministers who took oath. Governor Bhagat Singh Koshari administered the oath of office in secrecy to the newly inducted ministers in the Vidhan Bhavan premises. The expansion took place more than a month after the Thackeray-led Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government took charge of the state.
युवा भी विधायक उसमें है, अनुभवी विधायक भी उसमें है और जो 4-4, 5-5 दफा विधायक के नाते चुन के आए उनको भी इस दफा मौका मिला है, ऐसे भी विधायक है। तो ये सब मिलके बहुत अच्छी तरह से गवर्नमेंट चलाएगी।
Whatever opportunity we've got right now, we would use it to fullest for the empowerment of women, for the young generation, their all their problems, all their queries, and we would try our best to work for our respective constituencies and the state.
The 36 ministers sworn in on Monday include 10 cabinet and 4 ministers of state of the NCP. 8 cabinet and 4 ministers of state of the Shiv Sena, 8 cabinet and 2 MOS of the Congress. With this, NCP leads with 12 cabinet ministers and 4 ministers of state. The Shiv Sena has 10 cabinet ministers and 4 MOS, while the Congress has 10 cabinet ministers and 2 ministers of state. The state now has 43 ministers, including the chief minister. Senior NCP leaders Nawab Malik and Amit Deshmukh, who were ministers in the previous Congress-NCP government, also found place in the ministry. Senior Congress leader and former Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan did not find place in Thackeray's ministry. The Shiv Sena kept its senior leaders Subhash Desai, Ramdas Kadam and Diwakar Raute, who were ministers in the previous Devendra Fadnavis-led government, out of the new Council of Ministers. Maharashtra can have a maximum of 43 ministers. The size of the Council of Ministers cannot exceed 15% of the total number of MLAs, which is 288 in the state. With Shishir Shalar, Newsnight Desk, DD India.
Union Minister Piyush Goyal accused the AAP government of obstructing various schemes at the centre due to Modi phobia. Speaking at a traders meet, Goyal urged participants to support the BJP in forming the government in Delhi to take care of their interests. He accused the Kejriwal government of not doing anything for the people of Delhi. Union Minister Hardeep Puri and other BJP leaders also assured the traders of finding a solution to protect them from the ceiling drive in the national capital.
व्यापारी वर्ग को दिल्ली की सरकार ने जो वादे दिए थे उसको पूरा करने में बहुत ज्यादा नचीलापना दिखाया उन्होंने, और मैं समझता हूं दिल्ली तैयार है बदलाव के लिए, दिल्ली तैयार है एक भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार लाने के लिए। सरकार चलाने के दो तरीके हैं, एक है प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का तरीका, जो पहले दिन से सरकार में चुनने जाने के पहले दिन से काम में लग जाती है, सुधार में लग जाती है, बदलाव में लग जाती है। और दूसरा तरीका हमने देखा दिल्ली में केजरीवाल साहब का, सिर्फ आखिरी के 3 महीने में चुनाव जब नजदीक आता है तब उनके ध्यान में आता है कि चलो अब इश्तिहार देना शुरू करते हैं।
And Union Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has said that the registry for ownership rights for houses in Delhi's unauthorized colonies will start in the next 8 to 10 days. He accused AAP of spreading lies and misleading people over the issue.
ये 2 करोड़ में से 40 लाख जो हमारे बहन भाई हैं जो अनऑथराइज्ड कॉलोनीज में रहते हैं, इन सबको मलकाना हक दिलाया जा रहा है। मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूं दिलवाएंगे, दिलवाया जा रहा है। जैसे हम बात कर रहे हैं आज, इसी समय काम हो रहा है, लोग अपने आगे आ रहे हैं। ये सिसोदिया जी हैं, ये कल कहते हैं कि किसने चाहिए ऑनलाइन कर रहे हैं। मान लो आप सिसोदिया साहब, आप कोई फॉर्म भर देते हो या आप किसी रिश्तेदार का फॉर्म भर देते हो, इसका मतलब थोड़ा ना उसको मलकाना हक मिल जाएगा। अरे भाई चेक करना पड़ेगा, वो व्यक्ति वहां रहता है, उसके बाद पावर ऑफ अटॉर्नी है।
Meanwhile, former AAP leader Guggan Singh came back into the BJP fold in the presence of INB Minister Prakash Javadekar and State BJP Chief Manoj Tiwari in the national capital. Guggan Singh has been a formal MLA from the BJP in 2013 from Bhavana, but had later joined hands with Aam Aadmi Party during the 2019 Lok Sabha elections from Northwest Lok Sabha constituency. Some weather news now. Mercury continues its free fall in Jammu and Kashmir, with temperatures plummeting to -19 to 28 degrees Celsius in minus in Leh and Dras. Srinagar city recorded the low of -6.5 degrees Celsius. In Uttar Pradesh, severe conditions, cold conditions continue to prevail over most districts. Conditions have further intensified in the last 3-4 days, with most of the regions reporting 8 to 12 degrees Celsius dip in average maximum temperatures. The cold spell has also further aggravated in the air quality in the national capital. Air quality in the national capital fell to severe category this morning. Here's a weather roundup from across the country.
Cold day temperatures. Bitterly cold evenings and both hilly and plain areas covered by a heavy blanket of fog or snow. Normal life severely hampered as North India reels from yet another bone-chilling December. Starting off with Jammu and Kashmir, where heavy snowfall is the order of the day, in the Banihal Srinagar Baramulla section of snow cutters were put to work to clear blocked roads. In Srinagar, heavy snowfall caused temperatures to plunge to as low as -6.5 degrees Celsius on Monday. Water supply lines froze, as did the Dal Lake. In national capital New Delhi, the cold is breaking all records, with the temperature dipping to as low as 2.4 degrees Celsius. Monday saw the cold touching levels seen nearly 119 years ago. In addition to Delhi NCR, even UP is in the grip of a severe cold wave, coupled with fog. Heavy fog engulfed almost the entire area of Delhi NCR, including Noida, Ghaziabad, Gurugram and Faridabad. Visibility levels affected flights at Delhi airport, where nearly 300 flights were diverted and around 40 were cancelled. Train services too were badly hampered. with many seeing delays and some even getting cancelled. Bihar also is in the grip of a cold wave as westerly winds saw Gaya on Monday recording a minimum temperature of 2.4 degrees Celsius, the lowest in decades. Even Uttar Pradesh is reeling under the cold wave with icy winds impacting daily life. In Odisha, coastal areas as well as Bhubaneswar experienced a sudden drop in temperatures that has severely impacted normal life.
वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस अभी अप्रोच कर रहा है, तो हम लोग एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं नेक्स्ट 2 to 3 डेज में टेम्परेचर राइज होगा, जो कि 2 to 4 डिग्री राइज होगा। तो जितना भी स्टेशन अभी बिलो नॉर्मल है सब एबव नॉर्मल हो जाएगा और हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं 1 जनवरी से 3 जनवरी उड़ीसा में रेनफॉल का चांसेस रहते हैं।
Talking of the weather forecast for the next few days, rainfall has been forecast for Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand between the 31st of December and the 3rd of January. Western and eastern Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand and West Bengal could also experience rain and even hail. Rainfall is also expected in Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, North Rajasthan and UP. Clearly, 2020 looks set to begin on a chilly note, at least as far as the weather is concerned. Newsnight Desk, DD India.
And now some more news updates from across the country in Regional Roundup.
PMO tweeted about a minor fire at 9 Lok Kalyan Marg that was caused by a short circuit. The tweet said that the fire was not in PM's residential or office area but in the SPG reception area of the Lok Kalyan Marg complex. The fire is very much under control now. CBI carried out raids at 13 locations across Srinagar, Jammu, Gurgaon and Noida, including at the premises of IAS and Kashmir Administrative Service officers in a 2018 case of corruption. The case pertains to the illegal issuance of 2 lakh arm licenses between 2012 and 2016 to non-residents of Jammu and Kashmir. Railway property worth ₹80 crore was damaged during protests across the country against the amended citizenship law, and the recovery will be made from those found involved in arson and violence, Railway Board Chairman Vinod Kumar Yadav said on Monday. Delhi Metro Rail Corporation has decided to prohibit exit from the Rajiv Chowk Metro Station at 9 PM on 31st December in order to reduce congestion, although the passenger entry is allowed till the last train leaves. Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad today launched a web portal to find the lost or stolen mobile phone. The web portal would facilitate the users to share the information of the lost mobile phone with police. Port Blair observed the 76th anniversary of the unfurl of tricolour first time by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Lieutenant Governor Admiral D.K. Joshi and Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare Ashwini Kumar Chaubey hoisted the flag.
And a big news coming in, Army Chief General Bipin Rawat has been elevated to the position of Chief of Defence Staff, that's CDS. The government has been putting information across about the role of the CDS for the past few weeks. Now, General Bipin Rawat, Chief of Army, was also set to retire tomorrow from that position, is now elevated to the position of Chief of Defence Staff. My colleague Sudhir is joining us with more updates. Sudhir, what information, what updates can you share with us on this big development?
बिल्कुल शुभेंद्र, देखिए अब से थोड़ी देर पहले एक प्रेस रिलीज के जरिए जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ डिफेंस है उसकी तरफ से जानकारी दी गई है कि जनरल बिपिन रावत को भारत के पहले चीफ ऑफ सीडीएस के तौर पर नियुक्त किया गया। और खास बात यह है कि शुभेंद्र कल उनकी जो आर्मी चीफ के तौर पर उनकी सेवा समाप्त हो रही थी, उससे पहले ये एलिवेशन हुआ है। और खास बात ये भी है कि जो ऑर्डर आया है उसमें ये कहा गया कि अगले ऑर्डर आने तक, उसमें हालांकि स्पेसिफिक जो टेन्योर है वो मेंशन नहीं किया गया है, लेकिन इससे पहले जो सरकार की तरफ से जो सेवा शर्तें और चीजें तय की गई थी उसमें जो सीडीएस का कार्यकाल है वो 3 साल का नियुक्त किया गया है। और खास बात ये भी है कि जनरल बिपिन रावत अभी आर्मी चीफ है और बहुत लंबा अरसा उनका सेना में रहा है। दिसंबर 1978 में उन्होंने सेना को ज्वाइन किया और काफी महत्वपूर्ण पदों पर रहते हुए उन्होंने एक लंबा कार्यकाल रहा है। तो बहुत अहम चीज रही है, जिस तरीके से एक बहुत अच्छे ऑफिसर के तौर पर बहुत हम कहें कि तकनीक के लिहाज से भी समझें और ओवरऑल चीजों को लेके समझें, उसके लिहाज से बहुत अहम ऑफिसर माने जाते रहे हैं। और खास बात यह भी है कि अब जो एक नया पद सृजित किया गया है उसमें एज ए सेक्रेटरी नए CDS होंगे।
सुधीर, ये जो पोजीशन है चीफ ऑफ डिफेंस स्टाफ CDS जो पोजीशन है, उसके बारे में भी थोड़ा बताएं किस तरीके से ये जो डिफेंस की पूरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है उसको ये और स्ट्रेंथन करेगा अगर एक लीडरशिप होगी टॉप पे।
बिल्कुल शुभेंदु, काफी लंबे समय से ये माना जा रहा था कि जो तीनों सर्विसेज हैं उनको इंटीग्रेटेड तरीके से, आखिर किस तरीके से इंटीग्रेटेड रूप से जो अगर देश की टॉप लीडरशिप को अगर उसके लिए एडवाइस देनी हो तो दूसरे भाग की तरह से आखिर किस तरीके से इसको और ज्यादा इंटीग्रेटेड बनाया जा सकता है, उसी चीज को ध्यान रखते हुए CDS का निर्माण किया गया। और ये अलग से जो डिपार्टमेंट बनाया गया उसमें एज ए सेक्रेटरी के तौर पर, और खास बात ये भी होगी शुभेंदु की सबसे हाईएस्ट बॉडी होगी टू द टॉप लीडरशिप एडवाइस ऑन द मिलिट्री अफेयर्स। खास बात ये भी होगा शुभेंदु की इसके बाद से चीजें प्रायोरिटाइज हो पाएंगी कि आखिर तीनों सर्विसेज को जरूरत है किस लिहाज से हैं, अगर हमें कोई किन्हीं चीजों को लेकर आगे बढ़ना है तो किस तरीके से बढ़ना है, ऑपरेशनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या है, सेना की जरूरतें तीनों की क्या है, इन सब चीजों के लेके इसको खासा अहम रहेगा।
जी सुधीर, धन्यवाद आपका इन सभी अपडेट्स के साथ हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। माय कॉलीग सुधीर यादव गिविंग अस अपडेट ऑन द बिग न्यूज दैट हैज कम इन। जनरल बिपिन रावत, चीफ ऑफ आर्मी, has been elevated to the position of chief of defense staff CDS. It is expected to play an important role in the integration of the three forces, Army, Navy and the Air Force. Moving on, in a big snub to Pakistan's public service broadcaster, Pakistan Broadcast Corporation, social media giant Facebook has blocked the live streaming of Radio Pakistan. Facebook told Radio Pakistan that the live stream was against the community standards of the social media network and hence live streaming was blocked. Ever since India revoked Article 370 and 35A in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistan has unleashed a wave of fake news and false propaganda against the action. Facebook's step was to put a stop to this. Facebook not only blocked the live streaming but has also removed several posts made by Pakistan Radio on its official Facebook page, eulogizing terrorists like Burhan Wani and Zakir Musa. In Australia, thousands of residents and holidaymakers have been told to evacuate a swath of Victoria as soaring temperatures and strong winds fanned massive bushfires in the region. The danger is forecast to be extreme in 7 of the state's 9 districts, with the mercury set to top at 40 degrees Celsius in Melbourne. Authorities have urged an estimated 30,000 tourists to leave East Gippsland, an area half of the size of Belgium. Fire warnings also stretched from Western Australia through South Australia to icy cold state of Australia's Tasmania. Meanwhile, the day would mark the hottest day of December in Hobart as the temperature there hit 40.8 degrees Celsius. The New South Wales Rural Fire Service said that Sydney's iconic fireworks display on New Year's Eve would proceed despite calls for its cancellation due to the bushfires gripping the state. The Rural Fire Service declared a total fire ban for the region but granted an exemption for the Sydney Harbour display that is famous across the world. Hundreds and thousands of people are expected to gather around the harbour in Sydney to watch the city's world-famous firework celebrations. And as the world is getting ready to ring in 2020, multicolored confetti rained down on New York's Times Square as part of the annual test run before the big New Year's Eve's bash. At midnight on New Year's Eve, 3,000 pounds of confetti, the sparkles that you see on your screens, will be released. Thousands of pieces will include wishes submitted by people at New Year's Eve wishing ball in Times Square and via the virtual wishing wall. More than 1 million people are expected to hit the site on December 31st to watch the crystal ball countdown to the new year. And France will be deploying some 100,000 policemen to patrol New Year's Eve celebrations around the country, according to Interior Minister Christophe Castaner. Police will be reinforced by soldiers and firefighters. Castaner, who met with police officers and soldiers patrolling the area around the Eiffel Tower on Monday morning, said that threats from militants and terrorists remained elevated in France 4 years after the November 2015 attacks that killed some 130 people. Tourism has picked up after a slump in 2016 and tourists visiting the Eiffel Tower brushed off the security concerns. The Christmas and New Year holidays are usually the peak tourist season in France, but visitor arrivals have been hit by a nearly 4-week-old transport strike over pension reforms in France. Turkey has arrested around 100 suspected members of the Islamic State group in raids across the country. The detainees include more than 40 Iraqis, around 20 Syrians and a Moroccan. Turkey has stepped up raids on IS militants in recent months and pushed to repatriate them to their countries of origin. The country was accused of allowing foreign jihadists to pass easily across its border in the early years of the Syrian conflict, but it took a much tougher response after a massacre of 39 people at Istanbul nightclub celebrating the 2017 New Year. One person was killed and another severely injured after a gunman opened fire in a church in Texas, US. The shooter himself is also in critical condition. All three have been transported from the scene in critical condition. The shooter succumbed to injuries while en route to the hospital, while the settlement police chief said that the gunman was shot by two worshippers who were armed and returned fire. The incident took place in White Settlement, a suburb northwest of Fort Worth, at the West Freeway Church of Christ. And if you're feeling a bit exhausted as 2019 comes to a close, you aren't alone. It has been a busy year for India with historic events or moments leaving a mark of new India on the world. We conducted a poll of 10 such news items on social media. The results are out, of which we've made this special countdown for you. Take a look.
"50 golden years of International Film Festival of India." The Golden Jubilee edition of the International Film Festival of India, or IFFI, at Goa's Panjim was a star-studded event. Among all the glitz and glamour, Rajinikanth was conferred with special award, the Icon of Golden Jubilee Award, for his contribution to Indian cinema. The award was presented to him by none other than Shahanshah of Bollywood Amitabh Bachchan. French actress Isabelle Huppert received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the ceremony. The festival opened with the Italian film Despite the Fog, directed by Goran Paskaljevic. The cast and crew of the film also participated in the screening, while Trom Fabric screened at the Midfest. Iranian movie Margay and Her Mother was the closing movie of the festival. The festival witnessed a screening of acclaimed films from 76 countries, with Russia being the country of focus. It also included 26 feature films and 15 non-feature films in Indian Panorama section. The festival concluded with the theme Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat. "150 years of Mahatma, Father of the Nation." India celebrated the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Government decided to commemorate the 150th birth anniversary of Bapu, Father of the Nation, at national and international level to propagate his message. Gandhi ji continues to inspire generations across the globe with his doctrine of non-violence. Time magazine named Gandhi the Man of the Year in 1930. His birth anniversary is celebrated in India as Gandhi Jayanti, and across the globe the day is observed as International Day of Non-Violence. Over 500 pilgrims visit Kartarpur as PM Modi inaugurates the corridor. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated Kartarpur corridor and flagged off first batch of devotees to Kartarpur Sahib in Pakistan. A batch of about 570 devotees from India visited Kartarpur Sahib for the first time after partition of 1947. PM Modi also congratulated everyone in the crowd, the country and Sikhs the world over on the occasion. Gurudwara Sahib remained closed for 53 years after partition of India and Pakistan. 70th Constitution Day celebrated across the country. Constitution Day was celebrated across the country, marking the 70th anniversary of adoption of the Constitution in 1949 by the Constituent Assembly. Number of events were organized where people read the preamble of the Constitution. India celebrated Constitution Day or Samvidhan Divas in a special way. The Central Hall of Parliament bore witness to the special program to mark the 70th anniversary of adoption of the Constitution. President Ram Nath Kovind, the Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla and Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed MPs on the occasion. On the 70th anniversary of the Constitution, President Kovind said, "We can protect our rights by abiding by our duties." India-China agreed to set up new mechanism for issues relating to trade and investment. A new era of cooperation started between India and China with Chennai Connect. Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping agreed to set up a new mechanism for issues relating to trade and investment and felt the two countries should cooperate on important regional and global issues. Both leaders emphasized on the importance of having rules-based global trading system. PM Modi and President Xi held one-on-one discussion vowing to jointly combat terrorism and expand bilateral trade and investment. Meanwhile, India has announced a 5-year tourist e-visa with multiple entry facility for Chinese travelers coinciding with President Xi's visit. Kumbh Mela 2019 enters Guinness Book of World Records for largest crowd management. The Prayagraj Kumbh Mela 2019 secured place in the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest crowd management, largest sanitation drive and largest painting exercise of public sites. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took a holy dip in the river Ganga during Kumbh Mela and offered prayers at the Sangam. PM also honoured sanitation workers at the Swachh Kumbh Swachh Abhar event organized by Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. The festival that began on January 14th concluded on March 4th with the 6th and final Shahi Snan on the occasion of Mahashivratri. Nation observes National Unity Day to commemorate birth anniversary of Sardar Patel. Nation observed October 31st as National Unity Day to commemorate birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in a befitting manner across the country by organizing programs, including the Run for Unity. The Statue of Unity in Gujarat is a testimonial to the life of Sardar Patel, a role model of unity and statesmanship for the nation. The tallest statue of the world enjoys a splendid scenic location facing Sardar Sarovar Dam, about 3.2 kilometers away. Chandrayaan-2 launched, but ISRO loses contact with Vikram lander. After weeks-long journey, the Indian Space Research Organisation lost contact with Chandrayaan-2's Vikram lander shortly before it was supposed to have touched down on the lunar surface. It was an anxious moment for scientists at ISRO and millions in India and abroad, but hopes were not lost. India's space agency lost contact with the Vikram lander around 2.1 kilometer over the lunar surface moments before it was scheduled to land. As the lander began the 15-minute autonomous descent, it overcame a major hurdle of what is called the rough braking phase to go down from height of 30 kilometers to around 2.1 kilometers. Soon after, the lander lost contact with the ground station. The mission eventually failed, but Prime Minister Modi, who was at ISRO to watch the historic moment, consoled scientists and said, "India is proud of their achievements." Indian Air Force Wing Commander Abhinandan Varthaman returns home from Pak captivity. After a suspenseful wait, Indian Air Force Wing Commander Abhinandan Varthaman finally returned home from captivity in Pakistan, hoping to give a hero's welcome to the Wing Commander Varthaman. Thousands of Indians gathered at the border carrying the tricolour and garlands. He was captured by Pakistan following a fight between the two air forces in which his MiG-21 was shot down. Tensions between India and Pakistan flared up when CRPF personnel in one of the deadliest terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. Mega Howdy Modi event, leaders of the two largest democracies share stage. The much-awaited Howdy Modi event was held at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas on September 22nd. The mega event witnessed leaders of the two largest democracies, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump, sharing stage before the largest gathering ever. PM Modi addressed 50,000 people of the Indian-American community. The bonhomie between Prime Minister Modi and US President Donald Trump was clearly witnessed. It was all praise for PM Modi by President Trump. He described Prime Minister as America's most loyal friend. He even praised him for his exceptional work in India.
And now some sports updates. The Indian Olympic Association withdrew its plan to boycott the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham over shooting's exclusion, while announcing that the country will bid to host either the 2026 or the 2030 edition of the Games. The country's apex body for Olympic sports will next approach the government for the necessary clearances to host the multi-sports event.
The Indian Olympic Association on Monday said that it will bid for either the 2026 or 2030 Commonwealth Games, while also agreeing to withdraw its boycott call for the 2022 Birmingham edition over shooting's exclusion. The country's apex body for Olympic sports will next approach the government for necessary clearance to host the multi-sports event. The country hosted the 2010 edition in Delhi. This was decided during IOA's annual general meeting in the national capital.
2022 में हमारी टीम जाएगी और 2026 भी कर रहे हैं हम लोग कॉमनवेल्थ गेम की बिड कर रहे हैं 2026 और 2030 की.
The IOA also approved the National Rifle Association of India's proposal to host a separate Commonwealth Shooting Championship before the main games in Birmingham, hoping to make up for the sports withdrawal from the roster of 2022 edition.
We will be sending requests to them for archery and shooting both. It's not only going to be shooting. हमारा जो लेटर उनको जाएगी that will be for archery and shooting both. Games ऐड करना जब हम इंडिया में करेंगे तो then we have a prerogative to add 5 games या कितनी 5 games हम ऐड. But when it happens in India.
The IOA will soon forward NRI's proposal to the Commonwealth Games Federation for its approval, which will then go to the Executive Committee. Sports Desk, DD News.
And that brings us to the close of this edition of Newsnight. Namaskar.